Patricia Gras. Welcome to Passion Time. I'm here with Karen Love. She's a director for an international accounting firm here in Houston. It's called PKF Texas.
Right.
And I met her in an event where we were networking, women were networking, and she's been mentoring women for a very long time, and I thought that was wonderful. But there's also a lot of knowledge that she has about running a company and what makes a company successful. Before we start that, we want to ask you, how did you find your passion and how are you living your passion?
Well, I think we find our passion in different ways, and I think mine came through stages.
Okay.
My most recent passion was having become one of the first non-CPA owners in an accounting firm.
Wow.
And it's really interesting because the path I started on was not the path that I'm on now. So it's amazing. You have to keep your eyes and ears open as to what the trajectory is pointing you to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I know that you started talking about business development when people weren't really talking about it.
I think so.
How did you know about it? I mean, how did you make that something that you became involved in and talked about?
Well, and I have to say that the business development was the world's terminology that they labeled me with.
Okay.
I called it more really relationship building, which ultimately turns into doing business, but you're creating a relationship that creates the opportunity to do the business.
Okay. Now, I think this is really important because we're living at times where people are getting laid off. If they're too old, like me, if you get too old and you get laid off, and too many benefits, we don't want to pay. But you say people are the key, and of course I believe that too. People are the key to the future, to the success of any company. How do you convince people when it seems to be the bottom line? We need to make money, and the bottom line, and the bottom line, and then people forget that experience maybe does count.
Right. I think that that's a huge mistake, and I think that the cultures of companies that have that attitude you just described are the ones that many of the next generation don't want to go to work for, and I don't blame them. I want to work for a company that has the attitude that they make the opportunity for people to be successful. They provide the resources and tools for you to be successful. And I think as individuals, and in my case when I'm reaching out to young women, they have to be the assertive ones and ask, are you going to provide this for me? And then be very wisdom-esque thinking in order to discern whether they're being told or sold a bill of goods.
Right. And how did you, I'm assuming you haven't been working for this company that long, I don't know.
18 years.
18 years, so a long time. But before that, were you facing this? Were you facing some of this it's a bottom line, especially an accounting firm?
Of course.
And how did you deal with it?
Okay. Well, I think we can't ignore that we have to make money. I think it's all a manner of how we go about doing it. So, for example, in the firm I'm with now, and I've been in the accounting industry for 22 years, but almost 18 years at this firm, I think that it's the way you go about doing business. If you have a CSR, or corporate social responsibility, mantra, attitude, culture, I think that you can make it in tandem with doing business. And I think that the kind of companies and clients that we're looking for like that, are attracted to that, and we attract the kind of key members, team members, I call them our internal clients, that we like to attract and retain, just because of that culture.
And I understand that you also started working with the international community early on when it wasn't that sexy to do so.
Yes.
How did you recognize the importance of that?
Well, I think you can't ignore it. We're becoming a global economy, and of course, years ago when the book about the world is flat came out, we were, really pre that. The firm I'm with is an international accounting firm. We have 200 offices in over 100 countries. But the fact that Houston, when I was in North Texas in the dreaded Dallas, if you will, and I was doing my research about Houston, I was completely captivated by the number of consular corps. I think it's 92 or 93 here. And the fact that it's now been voted the most diverse city. And I think if you don't look at the demographics, like if you're a follower of Stephen Kleinberg at Rice University, you know that the demographics are going in this direction, and if you take a blind eye to that, you're ignoring the fact of the future, without a doubt. And how much fun is it to be around people that think differently than you, And coming in from my bubble, you know, like I just visited recently down at El Centro de Corazon. I'm very involved with that community, and they serve the underserved market and the Hispanic community, and was learning about things that I thought I knew about. And then you go down and you actually do a tour and experience the healthcare facilities, the mental health facilities that they do, and how they serve the underserved market, insured, uninsured, citizens, not citizens, and it's really a whole eye-opening experience, along with American Leadership Forum. I'm a recent graduate of ALF, and it teaches you how to look across the aisle. And if you're raised in I consider myself an independent thinking person, but it helps you to look across the aisle and see people that think differently than you, and you may not end up agreeing with them, but you certainly do understand and have more of an empathetic tone,
very important
attitude,
especially in today's
please,
polarized
really,
nation.
it's awful.
We're not. We want to only talk to people that believe what we believe, and talk to people that think like us. And it's so hard for us to just sit down and listen and calm down and listen and get over all the screaming and yelling and just.
Very short-sighted, and you know, we were talking about business development, relationship building, and you're a master at this, and I have several friends that are, but listening is the #1 key to success. You know, being able to sit, ask the key question, the smarter questions, but then listen, maybe not say one other word, and figure out what it is that the other person is saying and coming to the areas they're coming from.
And on that note, you just gave us some advice. People need to listen to succeed.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you teach young women to succeed in the corporate world? You are obviously very successful in your field, and you started at the bottom, I'm sure, and you build your way up.
Yes.
And so what do you tell the young women?
Well, several things. First of all, one of the things that you just reiterated is that where you begin is sometimes not where you're going to end up. I started out as an allied store buyer in a fashion business. Who would have ever thought I'd end up as a director in an accounting firm? And then in the interim, I worked for a U.S. congressman, a Texas state senator. I was in the staffing business, and each step brought me to something else. I had mentors and sponsors in each one of those passages in my life that helped me. And I think that one of the things that I tell younger people, or share with them, I should say, I don't tell them anything.
Tell them what to do.
Exactly. I share with them is that to surround yourself by people that think differently than you, to be sure that you're supporting your women friends, because I'm very involved in women's initiatives, and I think that we want to dispel the old queen bee attitude, and also to find a mentor that is very interested in actually helping you get to the next level, that it won't demean or dilute that woman's, you know, experience or position, but it enhances her as well as the young person you're mentoring. So those are just a few things. I have a tip at
Yes,
actually.
well, definitely good. We'll definitely go to that. Well, thank you very much, Karen Love, for joining us. And
Thank you.
It's great to have you on Passion Time.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on Passion Time.
Cambia tu vida. Cambia tu vida. Cambia tu vida.